Vault hunters at their core are like treasure hunters, bounty seekers. They kind of live on the edge. They're fine taking matters into their own hands, kind of playing that gray space between what's right and what's wrong. Ultimately, they're after a buck or, riches, power, glory, you name it. And they're willing to do what they want to get to it.
So a vault hunter then is a treasure seeker, but also a vault hunter is someone that embraces the chaos that is the Borderlands and thrives. It starts with pitches from within the company. Anyone in the company can pitch a vault hunter. We play the game so much that we start to think about what we would want to see in it next. We collect pitches at the company level. We review those pitches and narrow it down. Often we'll take elements of multiple pitches and put them together to make something even more badass. And then it really goes to design.
We want them to be somebody that players and ourselves can relate to. We view them very similar to like a hero, like in a comic book is frequently a good reference point for us. You want to get something that feels familiar and play as somebody you actually want it to be in real life.
It starts with the ideation of trying to, define and decipher what kind of fantasies we want to build for players. And then from there, it goes into concept. Concept comes up with a bunch of ideas that then design reacts to. And so from there, you go on to building the character and then actually building the action skill. And that's a continuous process as you work with animation, effects, audio, seeing if it feels good, if it feels fun. Sometimes it doesn't. You go back and you have to redo stuff. So, Vault Hunters are in constant production over the course of the project, and we will keep tweaking stuff until, code tells us, stop touching stuff, we gotta ship.
Yeah, I think the guiding principle of Borderlands in general is just to be badass. The abilities, the gear, everything, it all has to be the things that our community expects. They can be from any walk of life, they can bring anything to the table, but ultimately they have to be cool and they have to be fun to play.
We just approach each character and imagine who they are at their most heightened, in the most insane scenario you could place someone, and have them, because they are in the Borderlands, assume it to be the norm. The average day in the Borderlands would be an insane day for any of us. And what would a crazy day look like for someone that lives in this universe?
We're always looking for creating new and interesting experiences. We almost always have a soldier and we almost always have a Siren, but we're always looking for, what if a Siren had spooky dark powers? What if a soldier had a suit that was grafted to his body and he had like extra arms and ligaments to help him in battle?
To the team, delivering Vault Hunters that we know players will really love is everything. We want to make sure that we're playtesting, that we're bringing in players that can hit on each of the individual phases that we have through development. For me, that was one of my pillars to the team on this project, was playtest often. Any of these number of things that we have with systems and design, we want to get those in front of players so that they can tell us if we're on base or if we need to go and be a little bit better.
We're always looking at the community when it comes to our Vault Hunters to make sure that we're kind of meeting their expectations and then exceeding them, and also surprising them. We can kind of infer a lot of what they're feeling, and we can use that to our advantage to try to play with those expectations. And so when the game comes out, they're still surprised in the wake of all the marketing that comes along with it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the people to be able to actually get their hands on Borderlands 4 and just see how badass this world really is. It's not only bigger, and bigger by a large extent than any Borderlands we've made, but it's also far more detailed and far more beautiful.
We're back, and we're bigger and better than ever. We have so much more abilities, so much more that goes into our Vault Hunters. We have billions of guns. I think that people will be really, really excited about where we're headed in Borderlands 4.
Kairos is effectively a prison planet ruled over by a dictator called the Timekeeper.
He thrives on control and order, and when things are thrown into those mechanisms to create chaos, he only knows how to clamp down and sort of institute martial law. The Timekeeper's primary method of control over the years has been a cybernetic implant called a bolt. A bolt is installed on the base of someone's neck and can be used to monitor their activities and shut them down completely. The Timekeeper is able to use it to see through people's eyes and monitor what's happening on Kairos at all times.
Enter our Vault Hunters. People are now hungrier than they've ever been to get off of Kairos and to fight the oppression that they've been living under. The Vault Hunters end up enmeshed in this battle on the planet, and all roads lead to the Timekeeper. We call them the Outbounders because they, kind of like our Vault Hunters, crash landed on Kairos and have not been able to leave because the planet is on lockdown. They are desperate to go back home. They're ripe for revolution.
The Outbounders are led by a guy named Rush, who is very much this coach-type character, and when the Vault Hunter shows up, helps them join the broader Crimson Resistance, that's when things really ramp up for the Outbounders.
Each zone is ruled over by a commander. In the Fade Fields, we have Idolater Saul. Idolater Saul once lived inside the city and really wants to be the Timekeeper's right-hand man. And when he is sent to the Fade Fields after Elpis arrives, he sees that as his opportunity to prove his worth to the Timekeeper.
The Augars are a long-standing culture on Kairos. They're the descendants of the original mining teams sent there centuries ago by the Timekeeper in order to get resources like ordinite and other minerals and ores out of the mountain range.
So in the mountains, we have the faction leader Calder, and he is part of the Augars. He wants to take the fight to the Timekeeper, and the other council members are scared and they live in fear. In Terminus Range, we have Vile Lictor is our commander. Vile Lictor is an Augur. Since Elpis has arrived and brought iridium to the planet, Vile Lictor has begun experimenting and doing things under the nose of the Timekeeper. We have the Electi faction, and the leader is Levane, the gorgeous golden Levane. The Electi had previously lived in the city, an upper crust elite people that benefited from the Timekeeper. But when Elpis arrives, the Electi are left outside the city walls. And the city goes on lockdown, and they are not permitted back in the city. And so for the first time, they have to learn how the other side lives and how to survive outside the city walls. In Carcadia Burn, we have the Ripper Queen. When Elpis arrived, her perspective changed. She's realized that there's more to life than what she's been presented. And she rips her bolt as a means to be free of the Timekeeper's influence. When you rip your bolt out, there is a high potential for death, and if not death, insanity. And so her army is largely made up of raving, mad humans with decreased brain capacity.
She was able to convince a great number of her own soldiers to rip out their own bolts, and when they're not convinced, she does it for them.
We also, of course, have the Timekeeper as our primary villain in Borderlands 4. And when we were approaching how to write the Timekeeper, we certainly looked back on all of our previous main villains, and considered how we wanted to approach the Timekeeper differently so that he would stand out from anything that we've done before.
We wanted to go back to this sense of dread about the villain of our game. The Timekeeper can reach out and control people with unshielded bolts, and that's a threat that is always hanging over the player's actions in the game. As we unravel things for him, though, we start to see the cracks. We wanted a villain who was a new type of character in the franchise, who is ever present and not overstaying his welcome.
We brought back so much from previous titles that fans wanted to see again and that we wanted to put in the game again. The world is immense, and it's a new planet. You can come to Borderlands 4 whether you've played the previous titles or not, and you can hop right in. It is a turning point in our universe, and how it connects back to our previous titles, but also at the end where it will point is worth playing for.
Heyo! I'm Randy Pitchford, founder of Gearbox Entertainment. Today, we're giving you our deepest look yet at Borderlands 4. All the excitement, loot, and gnarly carnage all running on PlayStation 5 Pro.
Since creating the looter-shooter genre nearly 16 years ago, we've continued to refine the formula, delivering better loot, greater freedom, and endless mayhem. And with Borderlands 4, we push things even further.
This is hands down our best Borderlands ever. All new movement, abilities, bigger and badder enemies, and a brand new planet, all in service of making you feel like a total badass.
It's the perfect entry point for new players, with incredible new places and a great story. And for our longtime Borderlands fans, we're throwing back to our more grounded tone, while pushing gameplay ahead further than ever before. This is the culmination of years of hard work from my teammates across the Gearbox studios. So enough talk, let's get it. This is Borderlands 4.
Borderlands is an unforgiving sci-fi universe where life is cheap and guns are plentiful. You play as a Vault Hunter, a badass mercenary with powerful abilities called action skills.
Today I'm playing as Vex, our new Siren. She wields supernatural phase energy to devastating effect. She can use that energy to empower herself, or channel it to conjure deadly minions that fight alongside her.
And because everything's better in co-op, I'm joining as Rafa, a former TDR soldier who wears an experimental exosuit. He can digistruct an arsenal of weapons, like the razor-sharp arc knives.
These are 2 of our 4 new Vault Hunters that you can play at launch.
Borderlands 4 takes place on Kairos, an all-new planet steeped in conflict. For thousands of years, the Timekeeper kept the planet hidden, controlling its inhabitants with bolts, cybernetic implants fused to their spines. Anyone who stepped out of line was brutally crushed by his army of synthetic soldiers known as the Order.
That is until 6 years ago when Elpis showed up. This rogue moon was teleported away from Pandora at the end of Borderlands 3 by the legendary Vault Hunter, Lilith. When it reappeared across the galaxy, it crashed into the protective veil around Chyros. The results were devastating. A planet-wide cataclysmic event that disrupted the Timekeeper's perfect order.
Now people all across Kairos have started rising up, some even ripping out their bolts, and chunks of their brain along with it.
Here it comes!
That's the situation our Vault Hunters have crash-landed into. A planet ready to explode, and you're the spark. As you explore, you'll meet a cast of incredible characters. Fan favorites return, like Zane and Moxie. You'll also meet new friends like Rush.
And as always, Claptrap is along for the ride.
Last but not least is Echo 4. This helpful drone follows you everywhere, hacking order tech, scanning the environment, and helping guide you to objectives. But enough of all that. Let's get into the game.
Thanks to our improved lobby system, it's easier than ever to join up with your friends on the fly. And with full crossplay at launch, you can play with your friends on any platform.
Today, we're venturing into Terminus Range, a frigid, mountainous region.
This is just one of the 4 zones on Kairos that you can seamlessly explore. There's next to no loading time, just endless looting and shooting mayhem.
For our current mission, we need to break into a secret black site located deep in the mountains. One of the Timekeeper's generals, Vile Lichter, has been conducting grotesque experiments on locals. It's up to us to stop him.
All right, let's get moving. Here I'm using Glide, one of our new movement abilities. Along with dash, double jump, climbing, and point grapple, these make getting around more fun and add a ton of utility to combat.
As you traverse, you'll uncover a vast and beautiful world. And to bring Kairos to life, we've introduced dynamic weather and events, so you constantly have new things to discover.
There's also plenty of local wildlife to contend with, like these Kratch, flying beasts who attack in flocks.
Here we've come across a silo, one of several new activities in Borderlands 4.
You'll naturally discover short gameplay experiences like this all across Kairos. There's no need to pick up a mission first. These are auto-granted and tracked on your HUD.
Silos house old, decommissioned order tech that you can hijack for the Crimson Resistance.
With the help of Echo 4, we'll hack into their network and release the communications balloon. Now that we're in charge, we can fast travel to the silo. And as a bonus, it's revealed the approximate location of a vault key fragment. We can collect these fragments to unlock a hidden vault, a high-level dungeon with challenging combat and serious loot.
Let's get after it. Another nice thing about silos is you can zip line up and take off. And if that's not fast enough for you, you can always pull out your personal vehicle, the Digirunner. Just hop on, hit boost, and get rolling.
You can customize the body, paint job, and even how it handles.
And because this is Borderlands, you best believe it has guns.
As you traverse, you'll encounter a host of dynamic events. From order patrols to world bosses, there's always something to shoot and loot.
All right, we're coming up on an order outpost. Let's see the new movement abilities in action.
Chaining our new traversal abilities together makes combat more dynamic than ever. You can dash in and out of melee attacks, dodge projectiles, or quickly reposition to gain an advantage.
Now I know that there's a vault fragment around here somewhere, but we've got a mission to get back to. Let's pull out Echo 4 to show us where to go.
We're meeting up with none other than the Tigra Partali herself, Amara. She's a former vault hunter and exotic pet sitter from Borderlands 3. She came to Kairos in search of Lilith and is now helping us take down the Timekeeper.
Don't you whine at me, Hermes. We'll play in a moment, huh? Ugh, you agree to pet sit for a few weeks, and the next thing you know, you're having full conversations with animals.
You don't use security like that unless you've got something to hide. This must be the path to the black side.
Agreed. But if Lilith is on the other side, I don't mind some property destruction.
Ooh, your specialty! Please, be my guest.
Come, let's throw some light on this black site of his. This place is crawling with creeps. Clear them out.
Co-op has always been at the heart of Borderlands, and we've put a ton of work into making it better than ever. Our improved lobby was just the start. You can also set your own campaign difficulty independently of the rest of the party. This way, everyone can tune the experience to their liking.
And you don't have to worry about loot ninjas stealing your drops, as loot is always instanced for each player. Plus, if you ever get split up, you can easily fast travel to your friends.
And 2-player split screen returns so you can enjoy couch co-op. Regardless of how you play, we just want you to be able to hang with your buddies and have a great time.
What the hell is that?
Heard the talking creep, right?
Tim feels like the product of Lictor's twisted mind. Another of his experiments. If he's doing this to creeps, I shudder to think what he's doing to Lilith. We need to get inside. That air vent. Let's check it out. Hermes is really creeped out in here. Not me, obviously. Hermes.
Now that we're in the black site, let's take a moment to talk about loot. In Borderlands 4, each piece of gear comes from one of 8 manufacturers with their own characteristics and trademarks. There's Jacobs, with crit-friendly black powder weapons, the elemental expertise of Maliwan, Vladov, who solve lower accuracy with more bullets, the toss to reload Tedior, or Torg with explosions! We also have 3 new ones. The Order with powerful charge and release blast, fully auto rippers, and the reliable, easy to use Daedalus, which can use multiple ammo types.
But that's just the start. We've introduced an all-new licensed parts system. This allows for behaviors and abilities from multiple manufacturers to spawn in a single weapon. For instance, this flat-off assault rifle features a Torg mag, Hyperion shield, and a Maliwan elemental switch, meaning it shoots fast and explodes things. The higher the rarity, the more parts that can randomly spawn, creating wilder and wilder loot.
And that's before even getting into alt-fire modes, underbarrels, and elemental damage.
The possibilities are truly endless.
To support playing with your favorite manufacturer, we've added Enhancements. This new type of gear replaces artifacts and provides bonuses to specific manufacturers. Take my current enhancement. It adds a kill bonus to all guns with Daedalus parts, along with more reload speed and critical damage. This lets you min-max your build around your favorite manufacturer, immediately turning just okay guns into amazing weapons.
Finally, we've heard your feedback, and we've overhauled our drop rates and loot across the game. We've worked hard to make sure all our gear feels better than ever, while also making rarity matter again. This makes for our most satisfying loot chase ever. And at the top of everything are legendaries. These have always had unique effects that you won't find on any other piece of gear. But in Borderlands 3, they drop too often. This not only devalued legendaries, it made everything feel less valuable. In our new system, not only do all guns feel great, but now legendaries will truly be special events. We've added the magic back to our loot chase, and we know you'll love grinding all that great gear on Kairos.
But let's get back to combat so I can show you my favorite thing, Ordnance. This is the new gear slot for grenades and heavy weapons like rocket launchers. Instead of taking up a gun slot and ammo, Ordnance now has cooldown timers. No more saving the big guns for boss fights. Now you can blow stuff up as often as you want.
Before we go further, let's talk a little bit about action skills. Every Vault Hunter has a set of 3 unique action skills. These are class-defining abilities with devastating effects. Up until now, I'd been using Incarnate to deliver powerful phase blasts. But let's switch it up to Phase Familiar and pull out Trouble. As you can see, each action skill has its own branching skill tree, giving you more build freedom than ever before. On top of passive skills, you can further customize action skills with augments and capstones. These are socketed enhancements that add new behaviors and functions to your action skill.
Different builds completely change how combat plays out, resulting in near endless freedom to experiment. You can swap unlock augments or capstones on the fly, or completely respec your skill trees at hubs around Chyros.
This gives us a chance to talk about traits. Each Vault Hunter has a unique passive ability called a trait. For Vex, her action skills attune to the element of her equipped weapon. So by swapping guns, I can change Trouble's damage from kinetic to shock, fire, or any other elemental type.
And also, you can pet the cat.
Dead end. Or is it? Let's see where this vent takes us. Gods. Are those test tubes?
I'm down. But thankfully, our fight for your life mechanic makes a return. Of course, I could have avoided it in the first place if I had just used my ref kit. This new piece of gear provides health and other buffs, like temporarily boosting my elemental damage, rate of fire, or movement speed.
I'm almost afraid to ask what's in the tube.
Oh, look at these guys. Are those crystals growing out of them?
By the way, if you're looking to experience the story again or just grind for loot, we've added full mission and boss replay. That's right, no more save loading to run bosses. Now you can return to the arena and use Moxie's big encore machine to spawn another run.
But we'll talk more about endgame later. For now, let's jump ahead and show you something truly badass. In Borderlands 4, our bosses are bigger and better than ever, putting all your new skills, gear, and abilities to the ultimate test.
Whoa, spoilers! That's enough of that for now. But we look forward to showing you much more this June at our first hands-on gameplay event.
And from everyone at Gearbox, thank you for joining us.